time coming. It's much more than a park. Over many years, the town has assembled this 5.5 acre parcel, a parcel that's been very vital to this community over the years. Some of you may know it as the redevelopment parcel. Some may know it as the Wilson Firemen's Carnival site. Others know this is where the beloved Wilson Pizza Palace was. Decades ago, it was home to Sid's Hardware. It also was the site of the Polish National Home, as well as a restaurant went by the name of the PX. This site has had many suitors over the years, ranging from gas stations, car washes, convenience stores. But in the eyes of our current planners and our past town planners, as well as our elected leaders, this site, this neighborhood, called out for something different, called out for something special, much more special than those uses that were wanted to be located here. In late 2018 and early 2019, under the leadership of our then Economic Development Director, Jim Burke, we embarked on a community-based planning process for both this site as well as the then vacant school across the way, which is now occupied by the Capital Region Education Council in their early childhood program. Many ideas were brought forth through those planning processes, ranging from multifamily housing, retail, and just enhancing this as community open space. Our planning effort got a bit derailed in 2020 by this pesky thing called the pandemic. Governor, you may understand that as well. But we picked up our efforts back up in late 2020. After reviewing additional public input, the town council provided direction to staff to pursue designing this area as open space with great park amenities. That got us off and running. I'm taking a little bit of extra time this morning to provide some context, because this has been a long, drawn out, but very important drawn out process where we got public input, community input, not just from the residents of Wilson, but from across our community. We ultimately brought on our project designers, BSC Group of Glastonbury. You would think I'd get that name right. We've sent them enough money. But BSC Group out of Glastonbury to collaborate not just with the Wilson Deerfield neighborhood, but residents of all ages from across town. Because we wanted to know what their desires were for what this park would be in the future. The plans you see today and is what is going to be built in the coming months is a true collaboration amongst community members. I'd be remiss if I didn't extend my appreciation to the Wilson Deerfield Advisory Committee for your valuable insights, but more importantly for being engaged in your neighborhood and our community. I'd like to thank current and past town councils for prioritizing the importance of community input and for providing the financial resources to get this project rolling. To town staff, you are the best. I often say you kick ass. Thank you for your dedication to this exciting vision, not to mention your patience with me when I'd send you photos after photos after photos of park benches, playgrounds, fencing details from wherever my travels took me over the last several years. I often say we may build and maintain lots of valuable infrastructure as a municipality, but more importantly, we build community. And we need to strive to nurture that civic infrastructure. That is what this park can and will do in the future. So imagine this space transformed into a welcoming hub, shaped by collective input by the community. The possibilities for programming are vast, but so aren't the opportunities for a few neighbors just to gather for a stroll or take time to tend the many flower beds that will be here. This is much more than a park. It's going to help grow and strengthen the fabric of Wilson and the entire Windsor community. So thank you for being here this morning. I am so pleased to be able to invite up our mayor, Mayor Nuchette Black-Burke. And please, I don't throw around money, so pardon me for dropping the ARF.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us. This morning we are excited, we are overjoyed as a community. As our town manager has shared, thank you to the various groups of council members that are represented here, and just want to ask past, present council members, if you could just stand real quick, wave your hand. Thank you. Can we please give them a round of applause for all the work that they have done to get us to this point. And indeed, this is more than just a park. This transformative project will bring new life into a long, vacant parcel, creating a multi-dimensional space at the gateway to the heart of the Wilson neighborhood. The heart of the Wilson neighborhood. I grew up not far from here, off of Ford Road. I would walk down to Wilson Pizza, would walk down, back then it was a Dairy Queen, and there was so much happening here in this community. And for many years, it felt like something was missing. Thank you to the fire department. They brought the carnival. Thank you to all of the things that happened here. But what I'm really excited about is that this place, this space is going to pull our community together. A community representing unity here in Windsor, but one also of inclusivity. So the park isn't just about green space and play structures. It's a symbol of unity. From the beginning, we have prioritized resident and community input. We've already heard about the amazing work that the Wilson Deerfield Advisory Committee, they have done. So please, another round of applause for them. They took time to really do community engagement, to hear from our community. So this park aims to be a reflection of that diverse community voice, designed for the people, by the people who call Windsor home now and in the future. Imagine a place where the sounds of laughter. Coming here to Wilson Pizza, it was like this tiny little space, Peter. I mean, it was so tiny, but we would get in there, order your pizza. How many people remember that? You would get in there, order your pizza, and you'd be on your way. It was great. So we want it to continue to be a place where there's laughter, that families can come to enjoy themselves, children can play freely. The park is more than just beautiful space. It's an investment for each and every one of us. Health and well-being for our residents. And after coming through that pesky thing, I don't like to call the name, so I won't. Coming through that pesky thing that we all experience, we want to ensure that there's health and well-being continuously for all of us. So our vision for the park extends beyond greenery and playgrounds. It's about being it's about being and creating a cultural and recreational hub for all of Windsor. Picture a space where community events, live performances, cultural celebrations will come to life, and all of us can be a part of that. This transformation of this parcel into a park isn't just about recreation, but an investment in our local economy and our social fabric. This park is a catalyst for our community growth, hoping to attract businesses, creating jobs, enhancing property values. I won't get into that, not today. All right. Beyond economic impact, this park will serve as a central gathering place, fostering connections and friendships. So thank you to Governor Lamont, to our state delegation that is here for helping the vision come alive through a very generous Community Investment Fund grant in the amount of $4 million. Yes, a round of applause. And again, thank you to all of the councils, our former council, present council, councils to come, because we will continue to invest in this park for devoting over $350,000 in local American Rescue funds. Much appreciation to our voters for approving this vision, and thank you all to our partners in this endeavor, Patrick McMahon, Todd Seeley, Paul Norris, Flavia Del Castro, Suzanne Choate. Thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for a community park, creating that unity and inclusivity. Thank you, Windsor.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Next, folks, I would like to, I don't see State Representative Khan here. Oh, she is there, right behind you. Our state representative. represents this neighborhood. So, Maryam.
Hello and good morning. Good morning. I'm so happy to be here today. I live in the Deerfield neighborhood right here. I have family here in Wilson. And when I came to know about this project and this park, actually it was in this park, we had an event that we host every year, the back to school events that we host. And one of them that we hosted a few years back, I saw the vision for the park. And there were multiple visions, and people got to put some Post-its on and give their community input into what they would like. So my input actually went into this park as well, not as a state rep, but just as a resident. But I was thrilled to see the process of getting that park together that really took into consideration what we as a community wanted as residents of Windsor. So I'm proud to see that come together today. Last year, when I know Windsor applied for the SIF application, I went to Speaker Ritter, who could not be here today, but I told him, I said, you know what I'm here to talk to you about. And he knew. And I know Windsor did a wonderful job marketing even how, the plan of this park, and he had already heard about it, which was great, and supported that vision. So I'm grateful to him and for the state to really support that vision for this great thing that we will now have for the community. One of the blessings of having it right here, I live on Colton Street, which has Deerfield Park, for those of you that know, small park. And my kids, unlike, nowadays you don't hear kids playing outside, but my kids actually play outside. They play at the park all the time, which I love. So more parks for the community, for our children, is what I would like to see, especially for our district, and I'm happy to see this come together. I just want to thank everybody that was involved, especially at the local level, the town level, and for folks that really took into consideration our needs. So I'm happy to be here today to support this, and I'm happy to see this just coming together. Every day when I drive by it going into work, I just love seeing more and more dirt out of the ground. So I just see it every single day, and I'm cheering it on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Another very important integral part in receiving the funds for this project is Senator Doug McCrory. And so I'd like to ask Senator McCrory, I don't know how I missed you, Doug. I was up there. So come on up and provide us a few comments. And again, thank you very much for your leadership on the SIF board.
Thank you. Good morning, guys. I'm proud to be here for a number of reasons, right? Being a state senator representing Hartford, Bloomfield, Windsor, I just recall I'm hearing stories about Wilson Pizza, but I'm going to take you back a little further because, see, when I was a kid growing up here and going to my church, Hopewell Baptist Church is right here in Wilson, we used to go to a place called McDonald's. That was right there, all right? I'm going to take you back there. That's what I recall. I recall going to McDonald's back there and playing with that park behind Hopewell Baptist Church. But, it's amazing. It's amazing when the community come together. It's amazing when your local representatives listen to your neighbors. What you did was listen to the community. And the community told you what they wanted and what they needed. And they wanted an open space, but not just open space like in other communities outside. They wanted something that they can benefit from, a park. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for the governor. And the governor, I know you're going to speak, for putting a community investment fund together to fund projects like this, where communities like this don't often get bonding money. They don't often get an opportunity to go to the state and ask for projects. But because the leadership of the governor are putting this community investment fund and being smart enough to put me on it, we were able to deliver for the community of Windsor, specifically this Wilson area. I love this community. I'm glad we were able to bring back the resources to it. Like was said earlier, we have another project right across the street, early childhood education, where another investment could be made. So I look forward to representing you and making sure we get the resources we need so all the communities in Windsor can benefit from. Thank you for all the hard work you have done. Thank you for all the people that you mentioned that came together to put this together. And that's what you can do when you work together on a local level and a state level, and having the support like a governor who understands the benefit of having projects like this and bringing these resources back to Windsor. So again, thank you all for coming out. And let's enjoy this day today. And we know by next year, this place is going to be a place where everyone can benefit. Having concerts, having opportunities for our children to play, having places where our elderly folks can walk and exercise and be strong and healthy individuals. So I'm proud to be here, proud to be able to bring these resources to you. And I think next up is the
Deputy Commissioner.
Deputy Commissioner. Come on up. Thank this guy. Thank this guy. He is a hard-working man. He made it work. He made it come together. Thank you, Matt.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to be here. Matt Pugliese, Deputy Commissioner at Department of Economic and Community Development. And really building off of what's been said, so often when we work with municipalities and they go through the grant processes, they're frustrated. They don't hear the answer that they want to hear right away, and they give up. They walk away from the idea. This award came through 3 rounds of the very competitive Community Investment Fund before it was awarded. So Mayor Black-Burke, Peter, Patrick, thank you. And all of the residents and town council members and everybody else that's been involved, thank you, because this application only got stronger every time that it came through. And I think it really shows what a great process we have here in place. When state government is working in a really coordinated way with our local government to make sure that we have a clearly shovel-ready project that we're able to get moving on right away. Speaker Ritter, one of the co-chairs, was already mentioned, but this is a project that he brought up specifically as a great example of the public engagement. And I think every speaker that has preceded me today has talked about that key public engagement and how it's evolved over the time in that process. We say when we talk and meet with municipalities and applicants that a park can be used by everybody in the community, but Community Investments Fund is supposed to have a transformational impact on a target underserved population. And through the evolution of your process, you've made sure that, yes, everybody in Windsor and the surrounding towns can come and enjoy this park, but it's going to have a direct impact on the people here in Wilson and Deerfield. So thank you very much to everybody that has continued to move this forward. Thank you to Governor Lamont for your continued support of the Community Investment Fund. And it's my pleasure to welcome Governor Ned Lamont up here to speak.
Well, Peter and Nuchette, I get a little idea of the history of this place and the genealogy. First of all, I want to tell you, I love being back in Windsor. I think Windsor gets it right. I think we get it right in this sense. I mean, just recently we were down at the Plaza redevelopment, where you take something that was not used at its best potential and making that what housing is for folks. We're recently, or more a while ago, at the riverfront recapture. And what that means, being able to take parks and connecting that between cities and towns and making it come to life, a different version of regionalization. And this beautiful location. Boy, you've been through, Peter, you described there were a number of suitors. It took a while. Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Well, he got married, and married to the community. And I love what this means. I think you got it right. And Doug was mentioning the Community Investment Fund. I kind of like the Community Investment Fund. Generally, the legislative leaders would come into my office and say, this is the most important bonding investment I have. And about $2 billion later of this is the most important investment we can make, I said, here's the deal. Here's $175 million a year that I want you to help establish your priorities. Make sure you know this really is the most important. So you're right, it was very competitive. I want you to know that you've got really good delegation here. Maryam and Doug and Jane Garibay right next door. They fought hard for this. They come in and it's competitive. And what this means to the community is we can look around, what it means in terms of the history. And we're trying to do this across the state. We conserved, bought over 10,000 acres of land, and trying to give people an idea of what this state is going to look like 20 years from now. And that's why more and more people want to come to the state of Connecticut. And I want people to know what Bloomfield is, and a place right like this, a park where people can get access to it, the neighbors can access, the kids can have some fun, and we can go for a hike. I got to tell you something, by the way, before I go. When I go for a hike with Doug McCrory, that's just the way he dresses when he goes hiking. It's not LL Bean, but it works. Thanks, everybody.
So yes, Mr. McCrory is certainly a snappy dresser. So thank you very much for everyone coming out. We'd love to have the ceremonial groundbreaking at this point in time. Whoop, here we go. Never said I was graceful. So I'd love to have the governor and our local elected officials and state delegation join us, and we will take a great photograph. And then any members of the Wilson Deerfield Committee that are here, I'd love to have them come up next after this group as well.